Hello, guys. Welcome to the Sound of Manchester. This is Kushagra, and we are here today after the fantastic victory for United that was yesterday against Norwich, where United had two amazing contributions from Marcus Rashford, who's taken his tally to 19. I'm sure once we talk about the performance, we'll have a lot to say about Marcus Rashford, especially from our guest Pratmesh. So, just moving on to our performance, Prathamesh, what did you think about the performance? The fact that United got a clean sheet after what it feels like it's been ages, and from start to finish, United controlled the game. And apart from the front line, what are your thoughts on Matic and Mata? Considering that they've been out in the cold for a while, Matic has been consistent over the past 4 or 5 games, but just their overall contribution and how relieving was it post the horror show that was at the Emirates, then versus City, and the really drab result against Wolves.
Yes, I think clean sheet was definitely very satisfying. It all came down to one standout David De Gea moment. I think apart from that, David really didn't have much to do in the game. We kept. I think the most important thing in that clean sheet was that everybody was energetic. Everybody wanted to press at the Norwich player who was on the ball. So they created a lot of pressure on Norwich. We did not allow them to play at all. And then in turn, when we got the ball, we had the purpose, we had desire. I think these two words have been missing from United's performance in the last few games, but we saw them yesterday. And at the end of the day, it all came down to whether United had the finishing or not. And with the likes of Greenwood, Martial, and Rashford, you always know that the goal is coming from somewhere or the other. It's just that we needed the chances to feed them, and we did. Talking about our defense in particular, I think Victor Lindelof again was quite decent. I feel Wan Bissaka is usual good. I think the standout one was Brandon Williams again. He was flying forward in attack and he was defensively strong as well. It was pretty good. I think one thing about United's performance against Norwich was because we were pressing a lot, we made 18 fouls in the game. You might say a few of them were picked out of the tactical fouling book, as many people say. But yeah, I think it was good to see that. We were ready to be a little bit tactical. Sometimes I think it does work in your way. I know it sounds a little harsh, but I think tactical fouling sometimes works for you. Um, Talking about Matic and Mata, I think yes, it's as if those players have been reborn over the last couple of weeks at least. I think Matic has come back and he's been consistent. I think consistency is something that our midfield had been lacking, and definitely having Matic in there, we all know his experience will help. He has got a decent uh, pass in him. He can shoot from distance. He's very strong in midfield. I think it's very difficult to bully him off the ball. So I think he provides a much needed balance in midfield. And with one Mata, when he has the time and when he has the space like we had against Norwich, it is it is just in his locker that he's going to pick up balls in midfield and feed them to your strikers. I think what would satisfy him the most. And I think one of the most satisfying moments of the game was the ball which he provided Marcus for the first goal. I think it was a peach of a delivery. And in games wherein teams are going to sit back and defend deep against us, I think Mata is a very good option. And Matic definitely his consistency has improved a lot over the last few games, and he will definitely be starting a few more games for United. Talking about Rashford, I think everybody knows how great admirer I am of him personally. But yes, I think just keeps on getting better every game. His finishing has improved a lot. I think he still does miss a few chances which makes you feel it's very erratic sometimes that he misses a few chances. But I think he's improving on that. Um, his consistency is because of the clarity which he has now. Every time he's in front of goal, he's confident that he's going to score. I think I remember at the start of the season, he had just lost a bit of clarity in that sense, and he was missing quite a few chances. I think it was before he scored a wonderful goal for England against Bulgaria, and I think after that everything has just gone upwards. And Gladly, it's worked out that way. Martial's finish was good yesterday. I think he looked energetic. He looked like he wanted to press. It's quite rare that you see Martial running all over the pitch and trying to press. And obviously, I think Mason Greenwood coming on, it is as if every shot he hits the target, and most more likely than not he ends up scoring because he's a very clinical finisher. He has an exact idea of where the goals are, and again, I think that this shooting does remind me of Van Persie. I think it's brilliant to see Greenwood play well. Overall, it was a very good performance by us. It showed a great character to fight back, but again, we must remember it was against Norwich, who are currently 20th in the table, and not get too carried away. It is important that that hunger, that desire, that quality is there against Wolverhampton when we play next.
Yeah, very well put, man. Uh, I would just add a couple of my cents here. As in, I feel this is the cycle of Solskjaer. This is how it goes with Solskjaer. We do get we do get a lot of results wherein we are expected to win, and sometimes we do win. Whenever there are bumps on the road, he gets that one result that breathes a new life into his career at United. So yeah, well done to the team. Rashford, I feel he's received a lot of shit uh, for almost no rhyme and reason, because one has to understand he hasn't had a consistent run in the team in terms of starting every game up until he was 2021, because Mourinho, in the 2.5 years he was there, Rashford was his token player. Rashford was always in the squad, but a lot of times played out of position, or if played in position, played with a lot of defensive responsibilities and all. So I think Solskjaer deserves credit in the sense that he's helped Rashford develop, and 19 goals already in January and 5 assists, if I'm not wrong. It's nothing to frown upon. He's having a fantastic season, and credit where it's due. Uh,
Yeah, Kushagra, I
okay.
think I remember we made a bet at the start of the season. I mean, when he was not in form, that he would still come back, and I think I'm going to win that one right now. It seems that way.
Yeah. I think you're well on your course in winning that bet. So moving on beyond that bet and beyond United, I mean, United did provide a lot of happiness to a lot of people. Uh, this is also the transfer season, so a lot of rumors have been swirling around, and the one player that United seemed to be continually linked to. It happened in the summer, and United was supposed to sign him. We was supposed to have had a deal, as our scouts had seen him the entire year, and we ended up not signing Bruno Fernandes. Then reports came out from the club that we were never interested. It was all the Portuguese media. And as soon as the transfer season market opened this winter, it's the same. So is it and if you guys realize, it started post the City game. Before yesterday's match, there were big rumors that Bruno might come in. So just I'd like to go to Naved first and ask him, what are your thoughts on this, and do you really think it's another wild goose chase that United is going on, and just to appease the supporters?
Yeah. Hi. So with the signing, I think I'll tell you what. So this was going on in the summer as well, but we sort of backed off, and there were rumors that we backed off because of some flaws in his passing ability or his ability to keep the ball. But I think now we're again going in for him, and that is maybe because Ole is starting to lose trust in some of his players that he trusted a little bit more in the start of the season, which is maybe like Jesse Lingard or Andreas Pereira, because the reason he might buy Bruno Fernandes is to play between the lines. If you've noticed, Ole's playing style all this while, he's always had one player playing between the line. One in any formation, whether he plays 3-5-2, whether he plays 4-2-2-2, or 4-3-3, he always has this one player playing in between the lines, which is why he plays either Andreas, Jesse, Mata, or someone. Either of these three always play. So, which is why I think Bruno will be a very good fit because he's absolutely insane playing as someone in between the lines. He's really good with the ball over there. He's created a lot of chances. He's got good passing ability where he can see really quick passes in transition. So that will really help us when we counter attack teams because that is a very good ability that we have. And in transition, we need someone like that to release our players like Rashford and Martial, and he has a very good ability in doing that. Other than that, he also arrives at a very good time in the box. His runs are really good. which is why we've seen him score like some 32 odd goals and give 15 odd assists. So yeah, overall, I think he's very good signing, and I think we should definitely make it make it possible and make it happen because I think Ole has lost trust in the likes of Jesse Lingard and Andreas Pereira playing as a 10 at least. So yeah, I think we definitely need it, and we're crying for the number 10. I think.
Yeah, I mean, it won't be wrong at all to say that United have been crying for a creative player who can link the game from the midfield to the attack. I think we've all discussed this enough. Just a quick word from the rest of you guys, Nihar and Pratmesh. Any suggestions on how you feel about Bruno Fernandes, or any other suggestions, names that come to your mind? We'll start with Nihar first.
Bruno, I'd say he's a great goal scorer and he gets a lot of assists, but currently our biggest concern being the low block. I don't think he's the best player to counter the low block. Like he doesn't have the vision or passing range of, let's say, someone like Mata or Pogba. So uh, he's like more of a second striker. He'll just get into the box. He'll pick a short pass to a striker or pick a goal from the long range. He's good at that. But his passing and crossing, I'd say those are questionable. He has around like 60 or 70% passing accuracy. If you were to ask me, I would rather go for someone like Grealish or Madison, given the fact that they are they have been in this league, and I don't think the Portuguese league is as physical as the Premier League. He might need some getting used to, and also the fact that Grealish and Madison are younger than him. Grealish is a year younger, and Madison is 2 years younger than him. And the fact that they are more versatile, capable of dropping a bit more deeper and adding more, slightly more defensive abilities too. So that's my point on them.
All right, Pratmesh, any penny for your thoughts?
I think Nihar mentioned a couple of very interesting points in terms of him not being able to play well against a low block. I've personally watched him a few games in Portugal. I mean, the Portugal national team games, and I've felt the same thing. Wherein Bruno Fernandes isn't exactly that kind of an answer, and yes, he's not physically used to the kind of game that the Premier League provides. Again, I think for me personally, we do need goal scorers in the team. Totally agreed with that. But we also need someone who can pick up the ball and find the kind of pass which Mata did to Rashford, or like in the Norwich game. So we need people who could do that on a more regular basis. So definitely for me, I'm not too keen on Bruno Fernandes. I think I wouldn't mind if he's at the club, but for the kind of money which you're going to pay Bruno Fernandes, it sounds somewhere around 60 to 75 million. It does seem a bit as if United could better invest that in a player where which suits the Premier League more and the style more. I don't. I wouldn't mind if he just comes and plays well and if he's successful. It would definitely be very very good for us. But not my first choice. I think for me, I would rather prefer Christian Eriksen. I don't think he's had the best of seasons, but we cannot forget how good he has been for the past 4 or 5 seasons, if not more. He was brilliant at Ajax. He has been brilliant at Tottenham. And for 20 25 odd million, which is what his value is at this moment by Tottenham, because they would rather sell him for some money rather than for free. I think it's a no-brainer. I think Christian Eriksen is almost my first choice at any point because he's a brilliant passer of the ball. He's got great vision. Even if we are counter-attacking, he has got uh, probably the best passing ability. There is one of the best passing ability there is in the Premier League. I think Kevin De Bruyne apart, I think Christian Eriksen has got that in his locker, and his set pieces would definitely be a good choice for us in set pieces as well. and he can score a goal or two, can't he? I think we have seen some brilliant goals from Ericsson over the years. So I think he's the complete package. And if you're going to get him in 20-25 million, I think if you can definitely negotiate with Daniel Levy, I think he's a brilliant by Christian Eriksen. I think I would prefer him over Bruno Fernandes any day.
All right. Pretty interesting opinions there. For myself, I would love the signing of Bruno Fernandes because I feel that is one player that, in spite of all that has gone on and all that has been written about him or about his move to United, he has been definitely on the radar. And as far as the transfer fee goes, I don't think that, as United fans, we should worry so much about the transfer fee, because in any way, the owners that we've been blessed with, they're draining the club dry every day, every month, and every year as we speak. And considering that on a debt of over 450 million pounds, United has serviced over 1.3 billion pounds. I couldn't give two shits about how much United spend in the transfer window and how much they spend it on whom. It's just that I would just like to see a strategy. If it is Bruno Fernandes, then go all in with Bruno Fernandes. Understand that Bruno Fernandes is going to come because probably Pogba is going to leave in the summer. So build a team around Fernandes or build a team around Rashford, Martial, whosoever you want to, but have a plan. As far as the other suggestions, all of them are fantastic players, man. James Madison, Christian Eriksen, Jack Grealish, all of them are fantastic players. Though I personally feel Christian Eriksen has his heart set out on a move abroad. I don't think he would want to stay in the Premier League. There could be, we've heard a lot of unsavory rumors that have been going around at Tottenham and otherwise also. Just even yesterday against Liverpool, I thought if I'm not wrong, he got booed at his own stadium because of the perceived lack of effort from his own supporters. So I don't think he's in the best mental space. I think he might want to leave England. As far as the other two are concerned, I mean, if United can afford to bring them, because I feel the Premier League tax would apply there as well, and United will end up spending 60, 70 on either of them, and probably Madison will cost more because Leicester are in a very strong position. So yeah, from one Portuguese to a team full of Portuguese people, Wolves, guys. So United play
Kushagar,
in.
I'd like to add one point to the uh, Bruno related discussion there. I guess, I would say we missed a player there, which this Ole's current strategy of young British players who are hungry for success goes. There's this one guy, Todd Cantwell. He's been one of the shining lights in this sinking ship that is Norwich currently. Norwich, Pookie started out with a bang, but then he faded out. But Cantwell, he's been consistent the whole season so far. Even against us, he was probably their standout performer. So if Norwich get relegated, he might be available for pretty cheap. He's pretty young. He's 21, if I'm not wrong. And given Ole's plan, we might as well go for him too.
Yeah, I mean, Cantwell could be an option. I'm not entirely sure whether United would go for him because, as you said, it does seem like if even if it's not Ole, it's the entire coaching staff's philosophy that they'd like to buy British and buy young. Cantwell definitely, fits the bill. Let's see. I can see Cantwell. I can see a sort of a merry-go-round in the sense that if United get Madison, Cantwell goes to Leicester, something like that. Maybe Cantwell. So if you see, actually, Madison also came from Norwich, so it will be like Cantwell is following in Madison's sort of
They might
footsteps because,
deal it.
uh, yeah, making an upgrade sort of a thing. But I don't know. I mean, if United look for Cantwell, he played well yesterday as well. You're right, and the save I think that Prathamesh mentioned at the beginning, that was from Cantwell only, if I'm not wrong, and that was from his wrong foot. Like he's a left-footed player. I think that was a right-footed shot. So yeah, uh, once again, moving to the Wolves rematch or the Wolves replay that we have. Uh, what do you feel about it, guys? I would like to start with Nihar around this. First of all, what are you feeling about the fact that United, in such a cramped schedule, have to play another match? Because we all saw that dead draw that happened last week. And what are your thoughts?
Yeah.
What do you think Wolves will do?
Uh, Wolves probably, it depends. Wolves will probably go on full strength because They also have to face Southampton next. But the thing is, currently looking at the league table, while Wolves are sitting seventh, they still have a good shot at top six. But given the improvements that Everton, Arsenal they are making, they that race might be pretty cramped. So they might look to qualify through the FA Cup. So that's one way they might look for a good FA Cup run and try to pressure us with uh, almost full strength lineup.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem like Wolves would want to go strong in this. Pratmesh, what do you feel? What do you think? How hard Wolves will come? I'll just do a quick roundup with you and Naved as well, and then we'll get on to the predictions.
Yes, I think Wolves are 1 point away from top six, so it's not as if they are too far away from there. They have been playing well all season. They have got a right philosophy from, I think, from their top team, from their main team to the core academy. They have been focused on developing this team into getting into Europe. I think there are two ways in which they can get into Europe. One would be winning the FA Cup definitely, and another one would be getting to top six. At this point of time, it seems more possible that for them a top six is the rather the sixth position seems more likely than anything else. And Sheffield, who are there at this point of time, might not end up being there. So it seems as if it can be a two-way race between them and Tottenham and Wolves. Considering the way they have been playing this season, it seems likely that they might end up there. So and again, they travel to Southampton next, which is not an easy place to go these days. Hassan Hutel has completely changed the feeling in that club right now, and their performances have been getting better. So definitely, Wolves going there will have to keep that in mind as well. We might see similar teams to what we saw that day in that 0-0 draw which we had. I think from Manchester United, definitely we might expect a mixed team because we go to Liverpool next, and we all know going to Liverpool can only mean one thing. I think at this point of time, it's a no-brainer that we might not end up winning that game. So for us, I think we have to send our best team to Liverpool. We cannot go to Anfield and concede a lot of goals and then end up having a very bad result. So we might not play our best players in that game. And I think with Wolverhampton as well, I think they do have a pretty uh, trimmed squad in terms of quality players, but they do have players who have been playing well for the last few years, and also the fitness has never been an issue. So I expect Adama Traore and Raul Jimenez to start in the game. Nevertheless, I think they might start with Ruben Neves as well. So I think they're going pretty much be good already. I think we might start with Greenwood and James instead of Rashford and Martial. I think it seems likely. Rashford might start on the flanks, on the left flank if Dan James plays on the right. But yeah, I think we might start with Greenwood. So I think let's hope that it's a good game. But I personally feel this is a game that's going to go down to the wire and probably going to be decided from penalty kicks.
All right. So yeah, moving on to the predictions. Naved, what do you think will happen tomorrow? Oh, sorry, not tomorrow. Day after tomorrow.
Yeah. I think it'll be a tough game. I think Wolves will come hard at us. I think they'll have most of their good players back with Jimenez and stuff, all of them back. So I think overall, I think it'll be a one-all draw and United will win on penalties. That's what I think.
So penalties, yeah, I'm somehow never in too favor of penalties, especially at Old Trafford. Seem to have bad memories of the Carabao Cup against Sunderland. Nihar, what are your thoughts on the match? What do you think will the
I
score be?
I'd say Wolves will come at us hard, and but given that we'll be pretty motivated from the Norwich game, we'll try to push forwards pretty much ourselves too. And currently, we seem to be uh, converting our chances pretty well. So I'd say 2-1 win to United with the whole of Old Trafford backing up. I guess the lads can do it.
Yeah, let's hope so. Pratmesh, coming to you for your prediction for the match.
If we do not lead the game at halftime, we're not winning this. I think it doesn't seem likely that if we go into penalties, I personally believe Rui Patricio is a better penalty saver than De Gea. And if it comes down to that, I have a feeling that United might end up losing the game. So we definitely have to push on in the first half. We have to score a goal or two in the first half. If we are not winning in the first half, I don't think we're winning the game. So I think that's my prediction. First half, if we are winning the game, we win the game. That's all.
All right. That's a unique prediction there, Pratmesh. But I don't think you're too wrong there. As for me, I mentioned the cycle of Solskjaer, and I feel, yesterday was the sort of reaching the peak, and Wolves will be the peak, and then, as you mentioned, the Liverpool match might be a downfall. So, I go for a 2-0 victory against Wolves, and I would also, like Pratmesh, hope that it doesn't go to extra time or penalties because United need to be rested for the match to Liverpool. Anyway, thank you so much, guys, for joining me and joining us for the podcast. And thank you very much to everyone for whoever's listened to the podcast. Please do keep listening. Please do subscribe and share it amongst your friends. Anyone who watches football, supports United, or your likes and your the subscriber count means a lot to us. And thank you for all very much for your support.